Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever dug into your iPhone settings and just felt totally overwhelmed, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to demystify exactly how your phone protects your digital life behind the scenes. We're turning that confusing laundry list of features into a real empowering toolkit that actually makes sense.
Because honestly, who really has access to your digital life? It's a question that gives pretty much all of us some modern anxiety, right? Our phones know exactly where we go, who we talk to, and what we buy. But what makes the iPhone ecosystem kind of unique is that Apple built all these privacy protections right into iOS to combat that constant data harvesting. You literally don't need a third-party app. The defense mechanisms are already right there in your pocket.
Now, privacy on the iPhone isn't just some random assortment of toggles. It's actually designed around 4 foundational pillars. First up, data minimization, which just means collecting as little info about you as possible. Second is on-device processing. That keeps your data on your physical device instead of beaming it out to some cloud server. Third, transparency, showing you exactly what apps are doing in the background. And the fourth is user control, which lets you be the final boss of what actually gets shared.
Okay, let's dive into all this using a layered defense architecture. We'll be covering securing the hardware, taming your apps, shielding online activity, and finally, tools for extreme safety.
Let's kick things off with Layer 1, securing the hardware. This is your very first line of defense.
So, think of Face ID like a tiny constellation mapped right onto your face. When you look at your screen, the True Depth camera system projects over 30,000 invisible infrared dots to build a super detailed depth map. But here is the absolute critical part. That map never leaves your iPhone. No way. It's never uploaded to Apple, and it is never shared with the apps you use.
Instead, that biometric map sits heavily guarded inside this dedicated hardware component called the Secure Enclave. This chip operates completely independently from the rest of iOS. It safely stores your Face ID data and your device encryption keys. And because of this hardware-level encryption, your photos, your health data, your messages, they all remain totally scrambled and unreadable, even if someone were to physically crack open your phone and pull out the storage chip.
Moving right along to Layer 2, taming your apps and controlling software access.
Now, if you've used an iPhone lately, you've definitely seen this prompt pop up. App tracking transparency forces apps to ask your permission before tracking you across other companies' websites and apps. You see, advertisers historically use this hidden number called the Identifier for Advertisers, or IDFA, to secretly build massive profiles on what you buy and where you browse. Now, you can just tap Ask App Not to Track, or just go ahead and turn it off completely in your settings to silence those requests permanently.
And you know, Apple is actually stepping up this transparency before you even hit download. Just like reading the ingredients before you buy a box of cereal, they provide privacy nutrition labels right in the App Store. These neat little labels summarize a developer's data practices, showing you exactly what's used to track you, what data is linked to your identity, things like purchases or search history, and what's just collected completely anonymously.
So the name of the game here is control, especially when it comes to where you're physically standing. With location services, you can limit sharing to just while using the app instead of always. But even better than that, you can toggle off precise location entirely. Honestly, this is a real game changer. It means your local weather or news app only gets an approximate generalized area rather than the exact coordinates of your living room. To keep those apps honest, you also get some really handy visual cues. If you ever spot a tiny orange dot at the top of your screen, well, an app is actively listening through your microphone. A green dot, that means your camera's on. Plus, if you want the full scoop, there's an app privacy report in your settings. It acts like a full-blown audit log, detailing exactly how often specific apps access your hardware and what sketchy external websites they might be secretly contacting in the background.
Okay, stepping further out, we have Layer 3, shielding online activity on the external network.
Did you know marketers routinely embed invisible tracking pixels into the emails they send you? Yeah, it lets them see exactly when you open the message, your approximate location, and even your IP address. But Mail Privacy Protection neutralizes this by quietly preloading remote content through Apple's systems to hide your actual activity. Plus, if you don't even want to hand a website your real email, the Hide My Email feature creates a random, unique relay address that just forwards to your inbox. It keeps your true identity totally hidden and drastically cuts down on your spam.
And this setup brilliantly illustrates how Apple handles your web browsing if you use iCloud Private Relay. When you turn this on, your Safari traffic gets routed through 2 separate stops. At the first stop, Apple knows who you are, but they completely strip away the web address you're trying to visit.
Then, at the second stop, a third-party relay partner knows what website you're visiting, but they have absolutely no idea who you are. The end result? No single entity, not even Apple, can build a profile linking your identity to your browsing history. Furthermore, Safari limits advertiser profiling right on your device. Its intelligent tracking prevention is actually on by default, actively hunting down and blocking those creepy tracking cookies that try to follow you from site to site. You literally don't have to do a thing. It's just already working for you behind the scenes. Finally, let's look at Layer 4, tools for extreme safety, edge cases, and emergencies.
First up here is communication safety, which is a feature primarily designed to protect kids. If the device detects sensitive content like nudity in received or sent images, it automatically blurs the image and offers some guidance resources. And perfectly lining with Apple's privacy pillars we talked about, this analysis happens entirely on the device itself. Those actual photos are absolutely never sent out to Apple's servers.
Next, we have Safety Check. Honestly, this is a profound and deeply important tool designed partly to help people who might be experiencing domestic abuse or unsafe situations. It allows users to quickly and decisively review who has access to their data, locations, and shared albums, and just cut off that sharing instantly.
If you're ever in danger, you can trigger a complete emergency reset to revoke all access right then and there. Or for less urgent scenarios, you can use the Manage Sharing tools to selectively review app permissions and update your security and emergency contacts step by step.
Now, for folks facing highly advanced targeted digital threats, we're talking journalists, human rights activists, or government officials, there is Lockdown Mode. This is Apple's most extreme optional protection. It drastically reduces the iPhone's attack surface by strictly blocking certain message attachments, disabling link previews, stopping unknown FaceTime calls, and even preventing wired computer connections. Look, most people will never ever need this, but it's an incredible safety net for those who really do. But what if your phone gets lost or stolen and it's completely offline? Well, the Find My network uses nearby Apple devices to anonymously relay encrypted location pings right back to you. The tracking is so incredibly private that Apple themselves cannot identify which device reported the location, and they can't even read the location data. You and only you hold the decryption key to find your missing phone. Let's bring this all together with our conclusion, the ultimate user control.
Take a look at this matrix. It's the ultimate summary of your layered defense. It really shows how comprehensively this built-in system guards you. From the secure Enclave preventing physical theft of your data, to app tracking transparency fighting corporate advertising, to iCloud private relay hiding your IP address, right down to Lockdown Mode thwarting advanced cyber attacks. Your phone is quietly fighting dozens of battles for your privacy every single day.
So, this brings us right back to you. Look, while no piece of technology is ever flawlessly 100% private, Apple has invested heavily in putting the control back in your hands. Just the simple act of opening the privacy and security section in your settings right now can massively upgrade your digital footprint. Your tools are right there, waiting to be used. So knowing what you know now, what part of your digital life will you lock down today?